All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So training camp is around the corner. I am extremely excited to really dive into, these updates, who's training up, what's going on, all the, different storylines and whatnot that come with training camp, joint practice, preseason, all that good stuff, right? Football, it's almost back. But in this one, I wanted to focus in on something that I felt like, hey, this is worth bringing up. It's a little bit of a trend basing it off of last season in 2024, and it has to do with the overall vision of this offense, right? What Aaron Glenn, Tanner Engstrand want this offense to look like in this upcoming season, right? Obviously, first year for everyone here. So by all indications, whether it's an Aaron Glenn presser, a Tanner Engstrand presser, a Justin Fields presser, even reporters have talked about this. This team wants to run the football. It seems like they want to get back to basics and not necessarily, become like the Rex Ryan ground and pound days, but it's looking like we're going to be more so a run heavy team, especially throwing in the fact that Justin Fields is one of the best running quarterbacks in football. It seems like we're going to be running it more than we throw it. And so with that information, I took a look back at last season. Who were the pass happy teams? Who were the teams that were throwing it the most, right? Top 5, top 6. And who were the teams that ran the football the most, right? Where did these two teams stack up as far as offensive ranks, as far as overall record? And I think, I honestly got to be honest, I was not expecting to see these two sets of teams, because there's a stark difference between the two groups. So let's take a look at the pass-happy teams first. Who threw the ball the most? So coming in at spot number 1, we have the Cleveland Browns. Spot number 2, the Cincinnati Bengals. 3, Dallas Cowboys. 4, Vegas Raiders. 5, New York Jets. 6, Seattle Seahawks. And 7, New York Giants. Now, what do all 7 of those teams have in common? None are playoff teams. And if you want to take it a step further, there were a lot of teams in that mix that actually were not that good, right? The Jets had a top 10 pick. The Raiders had a top 10 pick. The Browns had a top 10 pick. Giants had a top 10 pick. But the point is here, the top 7 teams that were the most pass happy did not make the playoffs. And then if you take a look at the run-heavy teams who ran the football the most, here's the top 7. We got the Philadelphia Eagles at 1, Ravens at 2, Commanders 3, Lions 4, Packers 5, Steelers 6, Bills 7, Colts 8. Now, obviously, a couple things to talk about, right? I think if you take a look at those run-heavy teams, they do have a lot of things in common, right? I think a lot of these teams have really good defenses, right? The Ravens defense, the Eagles defense, Steelers, Bills. These are all really good defenses. In other words, if your defense is allowing tons of points, tons of first downs, they can't stop anybody, or committing penalties, whatever, they just can't get off the field, yeah, chances are the opposing offenses are going to have to throw the football more, as opposed to, hey, if your defense is getting a lot of 3 and outs, if they're creating turnovers, what have you, opposing offenses are at 13 points, 16 points, 20 points per game. Why would the offense throw it 45 times per game, right? Just run the ball, eat the clock, and try to get out of there with the win. Another point here, the run-heavy teams, all for the most part, have really good running backs, right? Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs had an incredible season. James Cook for the Bills. Jonathan Taylor for the Indianapolis Colts. Lots of good running back production out of this group. Really, what's the point? What's the point of me bringing this up? If the blueprint, if the formula is offensively, we're going to run the football. We want to control the clock. We want to rest our defense. We want to put the offense in third and shorts, second and mediums, right? Giving our quarterback less responsibility, right? Putting less on his plate in a good way, of course. We want to utilize this young offensive line, utilize these 3 young running backs with a lot of talent, right? All 3 guys have a little bit of a different skill set, but I feel really confident in all 3 of their abilities. When I watched Isaiah Davis, when I watched Braylon Allen last season, like that to me looked like an NFL player, like an NFL contributing running back. And that is awesome that we have 3 of them, quite frankly. So if that's the vision on offense, and then we have Aaron Glenn, Steve Wilks running the show on defense with some stars, Quincy Williams, Quinnen Williams, Sauce Gardner. I mean, we don't even need to go through the list. We all know these guys. Of course, it's not perfect. We have a couple holes, a little thin at D end, a little thin at D tackle. What's going on if we have a linebacker injury? Who's going to be that next man up? question mark right now with strong safety, but I feel pretty confident that, we at least have some young guys in the, in the mix that could potentially win that job. And it's also not to say that we can't bring in another free agent or pick someone up off of a waiver claim. Maybe someone doesn't make the team somewhere else, and the Jets bring him in, and on paper we'd have a quote unquote upgrade. We see it all the time with these summer acquisitions with teams. So I think, again, if that is the blueprint that the Jets are trying to follow, if we just look at the other teams that have, a similar track record of, hey, we want to run the football, we have these good running backs, in some cases we have mobile quarterbacks. Think of Jalen Hurts, think of Lamar Jackson, think of Josh Allen. I mean, Justin Fields was on the Steelers last season, and all of those teams have pretty good defenses. It seems pretty favorable, or a pretty favorable destination to get to. It's pretty encouraging as a Jet fan to look at the other teams that the Jets are trying to play like and say, that's a playoff team, that's a playoff team, that's a playoff. Again, 6 out of the top 7 teams are playoff squads. I think that bodes well. I think it's a good roadmap to follow here if you're the New York Jets. So anyway, quick little video here. Just figured I'd bring it up ahead of training camp. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Jets.